My name is Mina, and welcome back to Pecan Tan. We have our guest speaker today, Jameson.
You want to look at the camera,
He
buddy?
is looking like a handsome boy, but no, he actually hates to be cradled and picked up, so he's probably secretly biting Dylan's arms right now because he wants to let go.
He's a good boy. Look at him.
He knows he's on camera.
He needs a haircut, though.
Yeah.
He's a big, heavy boy. Look at him.
No, he's a furball.
But, no, in all seriousness, we wanted to make another video. We love the support from our last video. We've upgraded our camera setup. Have you guys actually see the real us and not the webcam version of us?
Yeah.
But today's story is going to be how we broke up.
Yeah. We were borderline about to break up. It's funny to share this story now, but within the moment, back then it definitely was something serious and a pivotal part of our relationship. So we're excited to share with you guys.
Yeah, it was like the lowest and the highest day, I think.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster.
Yeah, in a matter of a couple of hours, it went from not making this video to being on this video.
To engagement.
Yeah.
So, to begin, this was about, I want to say 5 to 6 months into our relationship. So, we were still fresh, but learning each other, kind of knew each other, kind of didn't. But
we knew each other.
Okay, yeah, we kind of didn't know each other. It sounds better if I say that we didn't know each other, but yeah, we kind of knew each other.
We knew each other. We hung out every single weekend, as you heard in the last video.
Yeah.
She likes to pretend that she didn't know me and she wasn't taking me seriously, but
no, we kind of didn't know each other. I guess that's more embarrassing on my end, and bad on my end. So I say 6 months into knowing each other, hanging out, spending time. So
we met in October.
Yeah.
And this was in the beginning of it was hot that day. It was the beginning of the summer.
It was beautiful. Yeah. It was so beautiful that day he took me to a pier in Hoboken. Any of my people who are from Jersey City, Hoboken, New York City area, you may or may not know Hoboken has a pier that opens up. Usually,
Pier 13.
Yeah, it's called Pier 13. Usually opens up during the springtime, as soon as the weather kind of starts to break out of winter. It's a beautiful spot. It was my first time ever going. We took a ferry from New York to Hoboken, and it was like a full process, but it was fun. It was exciting. And so you
so
know
we took the ferry.
Yeah.
So we met at her dorm room. Cause she was in college still.
Yes.
And we took the ferry over. I made the plans for this date. I think it was like a Thursday or a Friday maybe. Mm-hmm. And we went to Pier 13. And to preface this, we've been going out to bars and restaurants for 6 months now, right?
Yeah, frequently.
But this is the first time we really went out to drink in Hoboken. We've always been in New York City, right? And New York City is pretty lenient with like IDs because it's expensive. They don't really look at your ID, right? They're more so worried about you being a patron and providing them cash for alcohol. So we went to Hoboken, which is a little bit more strict with their drinking like policies. So she, unbeknownst to me at the time, was using a fake ID from Delaware. And I never thought anything about it because when we met, obviously we met on Tinder, and she put her age as like 21 or 22.
Mm-hmm. I was not that age quite yet.
But she holds herself very mature, and she's tall, and I'm not going to check her ID, right? I was having fun. So the only person that really cared about the ID in the whole life cycle of our entire knowing of each other in existence has been this one situation. She's never been really carded after this or before this. So we walked into Pier 13. We just got off the ferry. We're excited. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful day out. And the guy looks at the ID and is like, nope, it's fake.
Like within a few seconds. Now that ID was my trust in like just what's it called? Trust in
Tried and true.
My tried and true. That was my tried and true ID. I had two of them, and that ID got me into clubs in Atlantic City. It got me to some of the most exclusive clubs in New York City. So I was like, there's just no way in heck that I can't like pass this.
Yeah.
So, but within, I want to say 2 to 3 seconds, the guy easily identified that it was fake. And Dylan was like, wait a minute, like...
I think I would know if my girlfriend's ID was fake or if she's not 21 or not. And I got aggressive in the situation in the moment. And the guy was like, yeah, man, I don't know what to tell you. If you go to a cop and he says that this is a real ID and she's 21, I'll buy you your first drink. So I like snatched it out of his hand and I took her and was like, I'm gonna go find a cop and we're gonna go get a free drink. And I was like walking and then I was like, you know, I had a chance to take a deep breath. We're now walking somewhere else. Our plans are messed up.
Yeah, so we're walking kind of away from the pier. You know, he wasn't like overly angry or anything like that. It was just like, hey, like what the hell is going on? Like I thought that your ID is like real. Like what is he talking about? Like then Dylan kind of like stopped and was like, wait, your ID is real, right? And I can't remember what I said, but I was completely in denial because I was personally embarrassed, put on the spot when I was just caught off guard. And I think at first when I was in denial, I was continuing like lying, and then all of a sudden once Dylan was like, well, let's go to the police and like re-bring this ID back up to the bouncer, I kind of had to say like the ID is fake. And he was like, wait, what? Like you've been lying? Like what do you mean your ID is fake? Also,
I didn't really truly care about the age. It was more so like you wouldn't be straight with me. Like
kept
you were lying to me. Yeah, you kept lying when I gave you an out, and kept lying. And like we're very trust oriented. Like I think that's like one of the biggest foundations of our relationship is full trust, right? And in that situation, I felt real hurt, and I was like, why would she lie to me? Like I don't care about your age or anything like that. Like that's not. I don't date someone for their age, right? So, I was more irritated that like I was like, why you keep continue to lie right to my face?
I was lying directly to his face because I hate to be embarrassed, especially at the age that I was. I was wait, should
19.
I was I was 19 at the time.
I was 46.
No, that sounds horrible. I was 19 at the time, so I had 2 more years until obviously being 21. But I was still learning my own communication skills, and I was super embarrassed to admit that I wasn't the age that I said I was, feeling embarrassed that maybe he might feel some type of way that he was dating someone who was younger, even though I carried myself in a mature manner, which I have all my life. And I also felt embarrassed that like I was put on the spot when I really wasn't ready to let him know the truth. It's almost like someone else forced me to tell the truth. So it was a lot for me to kind of like just be super honest and transparent and say, hey, like I'm actually not 21. I'm sorry that I put you in this situation. Like, would you forgive me? But instead, I acted like a crazy brat, and like I was one of those people that flipped the situation so that he looked like he was in the wrong, when in reality, I was 110% in the wrong.
And we've gotten dinner like probably 200 plus, probably more than that, like 300 times we've went out and got food, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a big thing for us. That was by far, to this day, the most awkward dinner, whatever it was, lunch or whatever, like in the world. Like we went to this spot. We actually went back to it. I feel like we went back on purpose, but we went to the spot. It was right down the road from where the pier is. And we ordered pizza and calamari, and like we didn't really talk to each other. It was super awkward. I was like irritated. We weren't mature enough in the relationship, or I guess mature enough in general, I guess. Like relationship maturity to like actually fully and confidently speak our feelings and our thoughts.
Yeah.
Because we were like still fresh. We're on a little bit of shaky soil, right? There wasn't no concrete foundation to our relationship. We both really, really liked each other, loved each other. But we didn't want to mess it up, I guess. That's what I was like. I was like, do I really truly speak my mind in this situation? Like in a public setting? And you were totally shut off. And she's gotten a lot better with communication, which is awesome. And not in that situation though. And so it was a very weird, just like none of us were communicating how we felt, but there was obviously a weird energy going on. The food was good, but I wasn't really hungry. We were just like,
it was very awkward.
Yeah, awkward is a good way to say it.
Like a very, very awkward energy. Like we didn't talk much. We didn't eat much.
There was no eye contact.
It was like you could probably cut the tension with like a butter knife. Like it was really bad.
The waiter was like, oh, okay.
And it was because I don't think I fully addressed the situation. I don't think, even though Dylan has always been a really good communicator, I think he was a little irked that like he was also put in that situation and was lied to for, more than a month, like a few months.
6 months. Yes.
To be exact.
From day one. Our relationship was built on a lie.
But it wasn't, though. It wasn't. And I was nervous that my age may affect, I don't know, our dynamic, which it totally didn't. Age is nothing but a number. Maina was overthinking it from the get-go, which is why I kept up the lie way longer than I should have. Also, my ID was confiscated, so I never got my ID back. But besides the point, after dinner...
Wait, what did we do?
For what?
Did you get another one?
Oh, I had two.
You had two. Okay, I was like, we still went out. I don't know.
Yeah, I had
they
two.
did confiscate it,
but they did take that one. He was not willing to give that back to me. So.
Yeah, usually they don't give you back the fake
ID.
And I had a fake ID back in the day in college, so like it wasn't that bothered me. Like I said, it was I gave you an out, and you're like, I'm still gonna stick to my story, stick to my guns.
And I had such a crazy attitude, and I was so embarrassed that I actually, after dinner, I told him that I was going to take an Uber and go back to
dip. She was gonna dip back to New York City, like mess up the weekend, because this was like, I think it had to have been a Friday.
Yeah,
it was a Friday night. Like usually she stayed over the weekend in my apartment, and she was just gonna dip on the weekend.
I was gonna shut down and literally turtle up and probably not text him. But it was just so crazy because looking back, it was really just me being like super closed off and just like not communicating my feelings or just letting my pride get in the way of our relationship type of thing. And I was like super resentful towards Dylan. But it was nothing for what though? I think I was just young. I was learning. I was growing. And this situation was not just new to me, but it was new to Dylan as well. And I didn't know how to handle it. So after dinner, I told him that I was going to catch an Uber and go back to the city and like call it quits.
And I said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you're not. Like, you're not doing that. Like we have a good relationship. Like, we're not just going to toss it away when we have the first hurdle to overcome, right? Like, right. So I'm very glad in that moment I was like, nope, we're gonna talk through this. Like, this isn't really that big of a deal. Like, we're making it bigger of a deal than it has to be.
Wait, and can I also say this was a pivotal?
Yeah. I could have just said, screw it.
And I was used to dating guys. Uber. Right, and I was used to dating guys and seeing guys who probably would have let me go and would have had the same exact resentment and grudge then towards me, and we would never had addressed the situation again, and it was just toxic. So for Dylan to be able to say like, hey, like, I get the situation, but running away from it is not going to solve it, and it's not going to make you feel any better, was something that I wasn't used to at the time. Yeah,
so good for me for saving.
Salvating, yeah. Salvaging
me.
not salvating. salvaging
Yes,
our
neither of us were
relationship.
salivating in that situation.
No.
So we did take an Uber, but back to my apartment, and it was still super awkward.
Very.
We were sitting in my room, which had no windows at the time. It was a den.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, like we got to like talk about it. And I don't really remember exactly what we said
Yeah.
or what we talked about. I don't remember.
Neither.
But I know that I was sitting in the front of the bed and you were behind me on the bed.
Yeah.
And, well, you can say it. You did it.
Oh God. Okay. So, because this is like the only thing that he truly remembers, which makes me remember. But I guess I wrote on the back of his back with my hand. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you used to like draw hearts or something like that. So I took my hands and I wrote "I love you" on his back, and he was like. Like, wait, like, I did you just tell me that you love me? And I didn't say it verbally, but I was just I did kind of like this, and he was able to, like,
figure it out on my back.
Figure it out. And it was true, because I did write it. And then I was the first one to tell him that I loved him. And then after he identified that I wrote it, he was like, "Did you just say that I love you?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I was shocked that I even was like the person to say it, but it happened so naturally and so like I didn't have to force anything, that it just kind of came out. Just say like, "I love you."
Yeah. But it would never happen if we didn't fight for it.
Right.
And talk through our problems and communicate.
For sure.
And I think that was a pretty, like you said, pivotal moment. Like,
Yeah.
One micro decision could have probably derailed the relationship or
Yeah.
put a strain on it or changed the dynamic of the relationship.
For sure.
And within like an hour of that situation or 2-3 hours of the situation, it was, "I love you," and then the whole like we were back to where we were at the beginning of the day on the ferry. So pretty funny day. The day that we probably will never forget.
No, we'll never forget. It was to us, it was so dramatic at the time.
Yeah, saying it now, it's like,
Yeah, it was so dramatic at the time, and it was so just like extra, but it definitely was a moment we'll never forget, because that was the moment that I told Dylan that I loved him, and I was the first one to say it once again. But I meant it when I said it, and I think that's super, super important. And also, if you're dating anyone who's older or younger than you, to be honest with you, age is nothing but a number. And if someone's matching your same energy that you're giving out, don't hold them to what their age is. It's kind of stupid. Like, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. I'm the old man. She's the...
He's not the old man, but I just feel like I matched his energy that he was putting out. And I wanted to do fun, mature things, and... He
like
also
sneak into alcoholic beverages with a fake ID.
Yeah. That showed my age. Me doing that showed my age for sure. But as I said, that was a learning moment for me. So I would not take that back for absolutely anything.
No, it was a great day. At the end of the day, it was a great day. Yeah, it was a memorable, very memorable day.
For sure.
But that's the story about how we almost broke up and salivated a really good situation.
Salvaged.
Salvaged a really good one. So
yes.
Let us know what you think. If you want any other stories or questions about what we do, who we are, our backgrounds, we love making these videos. We love that you guys love them. That's what we do it for, is to hopefully spread positivity, good vibes.
And we also want to start vlogging more. As you guys know, we live in Florida, and the weather has just been taken up from the first day of spring now. So we would definitely love to take you guys around Florida and just see kind of what we do on a day-to-day basis. I think it would be really fun to show you guys that. And then also, quick plug, I do own my own jewelry brand, and I'm wearing it right now. I own my own jewelry brand since 2021. Yeah. Yes. I started it pretty much at the very end of my senior year of college. It's called Golden Bliss, but the website is called Golden Bliss for All. I'll make sure to link it down below. This is our snake chain necklace and then our gold hoop earrings. Leave the link down below. Check it out if you want.
Love it. See you guys in the next video.
Bye, guys.